Hi everyone! Before we get started with today's SAP training video, I'd like to take just a few seconds to introduce you to PostNow.ai, an SAP data automation platform designed to make your everyday SAP work faster and easier. With PostNow, you can upload data directly from Excel into SAP for vendor masters, material masters, business partners, journal entries, and many other SAP processes without custom ABAP development. This significantly reduces the burden on your IT team by eliminating the need to build and maintain LSMW objects, custom upload programs, and one-off custom ABAP developments. It's also an ideal solution for S/4HANA migration projects, helping you migrate legacy data into SAP quickly, accurately, and with confidence. PostNow also includes powerful SAP reporting capabilities. You can easily join SAP tables, build reports without complex development, or simply describe the report you need in plain English using our AI query pilot. It automatically generates the required query and delivers the results in seconds with no coding required. If you'd like to see how PostNow can simplify your SAP processes, request your free trial today at postnow.ai. And before we begin, one more thing. As a thank you for supporting our channel, we're giving our YouTube viewers free access to more than 20 complete SAP training courses. If you'd like free access to all courses, simply comment "Access" below and check the video description for the next steps. Now, let's get started with today's SAP training video.
Yep. So next concept we are going to discuss with the introduction to control statements, strings, and ABAP debugging. In this, there is a course content, control statements, a branching, what is the if statement and a case statement, a looping, how to declare a do statement and while statements, then how to execute a loop terminate statements, how to come out from the loop. At any point, you can terminate the loop statements with by using exit, stop, continue, and check. And after this, there is another concept, string operations. In this string operations, we are going to create with how to replace a string with one string, then translate, string length, and a concatenate, split, offsetting, and next concept is ABAP debugging. So we'll see all this in the next presentations. So in this presentation, learning objectives, after completing this chapter, you will be able to familiarize, to understand how to declare the control statements in ABAP programming, to understand how to declare a loop terminate statements in ABAP programming, to understand data types, different types of string operations, how to declare. Next concept is to understand how to debug in ABAP programming. Basic debugging we are going to discuss. Right. First we'll focus, the topic is a control statement. Right. So every programming language, it is required control statement, right, to control the flow of the program. Right. So in this there is two control statements. One is internal control statements. In this there is a branching and looping. In branching, if and case, there is two statements. Looping means same repeatable block of statement. If you want to execute more than once, then we have to go with a do statement, and then a while statement, and then external control statement. Internal control statements are steered or triggered by this branching and looping. When you say internal control statement, it should be within ABAP programming. Within SE38, you are going to write it within editor. External control statements are triggered by using or steered by mouse click options. When you say mouse click options, then after getting the output, you can select it a particular keyword or a particular line by using mouse click options. This is called as in a programming level. There are some events, ABAP programming events, and then the classical report, interactive report, some events are there. By using that, you can have a control statements. So first we'll focus internal control statement. And internal control statements like a branching, there are two types, if and case statement. So the programming, general programming language you can follow with any other programming. So these keywords are same almost. If is a statement, a logical expression, it should be accept. And there is a statement, so you can write it set of lines. Angle brackets, it's not part of a syntax. If in ABAP programming, there is angle brackets or indicates like pointers, like a field symbols. And this, just for example purpose, we have given. This is, you can write it a piece of code in this. Right? If and if is a plain, then if logical expression, then do some statements instead of like executing directly. You can provide else condition. Then based on that, a statement blocks will be executed. And after that, and if is a keyword. Next, if logical expression based on the statement block will execute, and also you can introduce nested else if conditions. If the condition is not proper, then you can check another condition by using logical expression. Then again statements, then you can introduce more else if conditions like logical expressions. And as statements, you can write it else and if. If should be and if. Next, how to declare the case statement. Case is a runtime, you can accept the parameters by user, based on a parameters or select option like a parameters, you can enter here. Whatever you have entered the parameters at a runtime, according to that parameter, you can check the value. When value is a particular based on a user input, you can do some statements. When the two, like a second, there is the statement blocks you can execute. Again, when 3, execute same statement blocks. Then this is a default. When others is a keyword, it is like a else condition in a if condition. There is a default statement will be executed here. Whereas in a case statement, this is when others is a default keyword, it will execute this statement block. Right? Then these statements will be executed. And if should be like a case should be like required end case statement. Next, how to declare the do statement and while statement. So do n times. Here you can write it instead of n. There is a number you can enter 10 times or 10, 15 times or 2 times. Here it is a times option. Without times option also you can declare like a do and undo. It acts like an infinite loop. But at least one loop terminate statement is required to come out from the loop. Otherwise it will take keep on executing like a do and undo statement. In a real time, it should not be entered like a do and undo, except at least one times option or any loop terminate statements are required. Then only can introduce a plain do and undo. Then what about our do times option? Because for example here you have written a keyword or a write statement, the same set of block of keyword or lines should be executed more than what you have given this number. It will print, it's avoid too many times writing the statement. Next, while is a keyword like a statement, like a while and end while is a keyword. It accepts logical expression. Here you have to do some statement. That compare with a do and undo with a normal basic without times option with a logical while and end while logical expression. Do without checking any condition, it will execute. Whereas a while statement, it checks first condition. Based on that, statement blocks will be executed. And end while. I'll explain every topic like this, do, while, will work out practically. Let me complete first the theory topic. Syntax part I'm explaining now. So now we'll see that how to write the piece of code. So before that, let me explain check here. So if you write a program in editor do 5 times, so this block of statement will be executed more than exactly what you have given 5 times, it will execute 5 times. Do and undo. Right, there is a while statement example, data m, type I is the integer type, value is 0. Initially we have allocated m value is 0. Then while m less than 10, any arithmetic operator, you have to give one space before and after that one space. Then now we are printing, just incrementing m equals to m plus 1 and while. So now we'll observe these two things practically how it is behaves. So I'll write the program ABAP write a control statement. So SE38 transaction code, here you have to provide the program name, click on create. Then provide some short description here. Select program type is executable. Then I click on save. Let me save in a local object. Right, this is the editor, and this you have to write it fine. So do is a keyword. For example, do 5 times, and do should be n2. Right here you can write it. Write is a statement. Right, for example, you want to print ABC ink, so ESC. Right, if you want to print this same set of statement, generally if there is no do, you have to write it 5 times. Then after this save, then I click on syntactically check, you have to check, then syntactically it is correct. Now activate the program. When you activate, the runtime object is created, then I select directly click on continue so that you can create it directly. Then execute this. The same set of block of statement is executed more than once. If you want to print in a new line, click on a back button. Then here you have to enter / is a new line character. Then execute here. Whenever you do any changes, make sure that you have to activate again. Somewhere the program is selected here. Look at this, that ABAP CTRL, the same program. So here the runtime object is created with the help of the same report name. So no need to select yourself, directly you have to click on continue. Right, when you execute this, it will print in a same. Right, we have done with the do operation with the 5 times, it executes the same. The next program, how to work with a while statement. So you can do comments, select this and a control plus less than symbol, you can do line comments at a time. Next, so we'll work out a while example here. Right, you have to create a first there is a variable a type I, so value I'm going to assign with a 0. So assign data keyword, data A type I, value 0. Then after that you have to write a keyword. So while is a keyword, while m is less than 10. So you can write it a write statement, write m. Then you can print it like a new line operator if you want. Then after this you can increment like m equals to, there is arithmetic operator, so equals to is a keyword, then arithmetic operator, so give one space m plus 1, then you can write it and while. So right, you can cross check this, syntactically check that m is sorry, here you have to declare m because we have declared a. So declare m type I, m is less than 10, write m, then activate this, click on continue, execute this. You're able to see now m equals to less than 10, then we are going to print it this 9. Right. So now we'll explore how to create a parameters with a case statement. So first you have to declare let me declare the parameters. Right, the parameters, for example f1 I'm declaring type, integer type, let us say first the value I'm going to allocate, for example default is 2. So it not allocate the value keyword, it should be default. Right, so value keyword it will work for variable. Right, there is a default keyword, it should work for parameters. Right, after this case statement, at a case there is a field f1. For example in this I'm going to enter just 1. So if you enter 1 you can print something that write statement, there is like a first block display. For example you have written like this, first block display. So when you enter for example in a value 2, then you can display like anything information here. So let us say second block display. Right, when others is a keyword for default, if something is not proper then directly this block will be executed. So this called as a, we'll write it so default block. Right, if for example you are printing f1. So click on syntactically check. Then here we are writing first in a basic simple programs. The further level you'll get a more complex how to write it with the function codes and how to deal with the when function codes, everything in a later part will work out. Click on activate this. Runtime object will be created automatically. Click on continue. Now execute this. So default is 2 we have given, then directly can execute. If you execute default right here, second block displayed, the parameter what you have entered we are printing, that is 2. At a runtime you can change the value, for example 3 you can provide. This 3 we have not handled in a parameter case, then default block is executed, the value what you have printed we are displaying now. Right, this is example for basic example to create a parameters with a case statement how to create. Now execute one more time. If you want to change this fn value, then there is a keyword, back to the code, go to utilities, go to statement, text elements and selection text. select this selection text. There you will get a parameter F1, then above with the F1, like just you can delete this and you can write it like this. You can write it anything, then please enter the value. So make sure that this activate button, the moment when you change, it is in active mode, then please turn into active mode. You have to activate this selection text. Click on continue, then one step back. Right, now activate this program. You have done some changes. Program is activated. Click on execute now. Check here. Please enter the value. You can give a user-friendly input, some text taken over here. When you execute this, you'll get output. Then F3 is a shortcut keyword. If you have to click on back, press F3. Now we are able to do in a case statement. You are in a coding. Right, this is the way you have to do the parameters and all. So back to presentation, and then we'll work out with the right. Next, there are loop terminate statements. Look at it. So how do you terminate the loop terminate statement? Like by using exit is a keyword, then a stop is a keyword, continue is a keyword, and a check is a keyword. So if you want to come out from the loop, you have to write a loop terminate statement. This I'm going to help explain with the debugging. So before that, we'll work out how to debug the programs, and let me complete some theory topic with the debugging. So what exactly the debug, how to place, what is the reason. Along with the debugging, we'll work out this loop terminate statement. The next topic is debugging. So generally the purpose of the debugging is an error-free program doesn't give any desired output in all the cases, so that those programs are required an additional testing. Generally when you say like a debugging, people will say like a error purpose. It's not correct. So majorly we are going to handle errors, bugs, or fix whatever. But you cannot trust the programs and error-free programs. Such a case, those programs are required an additional testing. With the help of additional testing, you can do with your own debugging. So not only for testing purpose, so to know the flow of the program, how it is executing in a backend, and a line by line or a statement by statement, or how the flow of the programs are executing, in such a cases we'll go for debugging. In the third case, instead of writing too much code, or like for example, you have to write 1,000 lines of code, you realize that after 1,000 lines the code is not proper, then in such cases, who will calculate the time, user time, right? Because you spend a lot of time. In such a cases, write a piece of code that 5 lines or 10 lines or 100 lines. Check that in a debugging, how it is executing, how the flow is coming, what exactly the output you are getting. Based on that, you can build further level conditions, or according to the previous 5 lines or 10 lines code, you can build your own code, right? If you debug that, you'll get a proper picture, the conditions and etc. Based on that, you can further proceed. A debugger is a stepwise method finding out errors or bugs. ABAP debugger allows to interrupt the running program after each and every step to check intermediate results and the processing logic, how we have written everything. For this purpose, we are going to do a debugging. So debugger can be called in two ways. One is by placing a breakpoint, or you can write a keyword using a breakpoint. There is a static breakpoint, or runtime you can set by using stop buttons. Based on that, you can write it. A breakpoint is a signal where your program behaves abnormal. You have to place a breakpoint. We'll work out practically how to set the breakpoints and all. Right, by setting the breakpoint, click the stop button in the toolbar of the program, or you can type it the keyword breakpoint and dot or break statement. These programs are static breakpoint. These breakpoints are like programming breakpoints. If you place screen programming, for example, as module pool or a screen design programs, you have to enter in a command prompt /h. /h indicates to start the debugging. Then after that you have to click on enter so that you can start screen debugging. Or double click on a set breakpoint, you can place it. So when you work with the breakpoint, there are the keys F5, function F5, function 6, F6, F7, F8. F5 to see that line by line execution of the flow of the program. F6 to execute the block at a time. F7 is to come out from the block. F8, at any point of time you can execute your program to see the results. The debugger is a programming tool that uses it to execute ABAP programs line by line. Just now we discussed like F5 is a keyword to execute line by line. Using this tool, data object can be displayed and the flow of the program you can check. A good programmer, as an ABAP programmer, you have to spend a lot of time in a debugging so that you'll get a more results, accurate, proper information. You can take it out from that. You can switch from one to another debugging. Basically, ABAP SAP provides two types of debugging. One is classic ABAP debugger, a new ABAP debugger. When you say a classic ABAP debugger, it displays in a same role in a Windows and application. It runs on a same role in a same screen, all the application. This ABAP classic ABAP debugger is a very old version. Right, before 4.7, in a 4.7 we do have only ABAP classical debugging. From ECC 6 now no need to go with the classical debugging. We'll have a more features execute in a separate external system session, and many more features you'll get, and by using ABAP new debugger you can work directly. Today's world, many programmers, they know very well how to debug ABAP debugging with the old classical pattern. For that point of view, SAP provides user choice. You can select ABAP classic debugging or new ABAP debugger directly, switch to one to another directly. At a time you can work with only one. When you say a new ABAP debugger, there are a lot of features like desktop 1, 2, 3, like user-friendly desktops. Then you can see that internal table header, body of the pages, how the records are content. You can adjust that, and the watch points and the many more features, and object-oriented ABAP purpose. A lot of features are added in this. An integrated test tool with an ABAP workbench. Use it to check that program's logic and to find out that errors and source code. From that, you can see the source code of the ABAP program also in this new ABAP debugging. The new ABAP debugger provides a large number of new known functions, that is called as menus, icons, and etc. Everything they provided. How to start the debugging and how to stop the debugging. Right, select that utilities settings, ABAP debugger, can place it debugging. In a status you will get it is set by debugging. And a control can be passed from the application to new ABAP debugger at any time. And if you want to debug screen debugging /h in a command prompt, you have to enter so that you can have a screen debugging. Then how to exit from the debugging. Debugger exit debug, and a debugger exit application ABAP debugging, and a screen debugging /h followed by X no space to exit from the screen debugging. So we'll work out the loop terminate statements along with the debugging. So let me introduce the basic debugging concepts with the programming principle. For example, you're writing the code like this: do and do. Right here. So first I'm printing write as a keyword, s5-index, the current index number will print. If s5-index equals to 10, then I want to exit from the loop. Then if should be and if. Then if you want, you can print like this any other statement. For example, ABC Inc. You're writing like ESC if you want to print anything right after do. So what we are doing here, do write if system index, first it is print 1. If system index equals to 10, exit, and if, and do, and write statement. So click on check the syntactical errors, no syntactical errors, activate this and click on enter. So better you can execute now, so that it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence index numbers and 7, 10, and followed by write statement. Whatever you have written, it is printing. We have introduced a concept called as a plain infinite do and undo, but we are using if conditions and exit. Exit, it will come out from the loop and it will print whatever the process after that. For example, you have to place it instead of exit. Let us say stop is a keyword. We'll observe that we'll command exit is a keyword, and now we'll observe, click on activate. Now enter, execute this. Stop will not print any write statement after that. It will come out from the loop, but it will not print any write statement. You can come out and you can print it, write statement. So next we'll work out how to create a continuous statement. I'll explain in the same example. For example, here you're writing so after write statement, if s5-index, there is a system index, always increment by 1. If system index, for example, you are writing equals to 2, and then so I'll write it one more write statement with the s5-index, then and if. Right, what I'm doing here, then simply like okay, or else you can skip that instead of writing continuous statement. So continue is a keyword, right? So do statement, write index, system index equals to 2, continue. So index, then here if you want to like a print exit, you want to exit and you want to print that, then. So let me save this and activate. Then let me explain this process, how it is taking in a debugging. Activate this. I'm going to introduce a debugging, basic debugging, how to write it. Right, before breakpoint or a debugging, your program should be active. So breakpoints, you have to place it only on a conditions, not for declarations. Okay, for example, write is a keyword, but you cannot place a breakpoint. Right? There is a do here. There is a tab in editor. You can select this. Check the breakpoint is session breakpoint was set. Then the breakpoint is stopped. There is a red color stop button. You can do it. If you want to deselect, again you have to click so that it is gone for debugging. Breakpoint was deleted. Option 1, there is a tab, we can set it. And place the cursor where exactly you want to place debugging. There is a here, click on stop button. Both are same. This is internal session breakpoint. The next one is external session breakpoint. If you select the external session breakpoint, for example, if you want to delete, select, again you have to click on this, it is deselected. Internal breakpoint. When you select then the second one, external breakpoint, then you'll get a breakpoint was set for external debugging. The ABAP user validity is only for 2 hours. There is a time limit for external breakpoint. You can deselect it and continue. So select and the first breakpoint. Now after this breakpoint was set, execute now. There is a F8 button or this, click on this. It won't execute directly. System will stop this at this particular 46th line number and it is started with debugging. As per our discussion, like ABAP debuggers are 2 types. Click on debugging. Then there is a switch to classic debugging. Currently we are in new debugging. If you click this, you'll get an old debugging pattern, but it is not required to practice because very old one. Check, this is a old pattern. There is no like a table, like a lot of options are not provided in this. So better you can start from the new debugging. Click on this ABAP debugging, switch to new ABAP debugger. Right, there are a couple of options are provided, breakpoints, what points, tables, objects, and everything you can go in. This is called like a desktop one. Then right, if you click desktop 2, you can adjust that in a second option. Right, you can see like a stack method in ABAP, events, whatever events and programs I can able to. And the desktop 3, right, you can see that list of variables, you can local, global, whatever, like that. Right, as per your requirement, you can go through that. For example, desktop 1, fine. So you can scroll it, zoom. Right, place a cursor on SI index, double click on system index. Then or else you can print it in the right side desktop 1 in a variable. The initially system index is 0. Because the loop has not started, currently the 46 line number, there you can have to use a function key select single, like there is a step F5. F5 line by line, F6 to like execute the one block, to come out F7, F8 at any point time you can execute. Now check here, value is incremented 1. Your size bus is 0. There are system fail whenever it is success, your size bus is 0. If the system fails, size bus is failure, so that you can conclude the value is failure. Tab index is increment 1. It indicates with internal table how many times your tab index is increment. This tab index concept, let me explain with internal table concept. Right, keep on press F5, then this icon, that system index equals to 2, no, because index is 1, it will not execute this block directly, it will checking if index equals to 10, then only it will execute, otherwise it is processed again. Right, a control is an undo, and it is back for the next iteration. Keep on press F5, check the value, index is incremented by 2, then if system index equals to 2, so what we are doing, simply we are continuing that, and next click on continue. Like the continue statement is reached here, it will continue directly. Next, if system index equals to, like keep on press F5 so that it will increment like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. You're able to see that. So this is a way you have to debug your programs to check the values. And if you don't want to debug like too many times, if you want to press F5, you can see the output at any point of time. It is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. But let me write the code in a different fashion. Then for example here, so I want to print write statement software end if of first line. So Control X, cut, and here I'm going to paste it. Right. Very first time index is 1, 2. If 2 it is continue, it will not print the second write statement index 2. Now activate this and place the breakpoint. Click on enter. Execute now. So look at here, double click on system index, or you can type it here. Again you have to press F5, and if system index equals to 2, no, that's what it is printing. Write statement, it is write 1. Then index 10, no. Then second time index equals to 2, then the continue will, it acts like a go to statement. Okay, we have to place it within a loop. Then if the condition is reached or satisfied, then continue statement, it simply discontinue, further actions will not be taken. Click on continue, check, it will not writing index 2 in output, then directly it is writing 3. And then here we can write, if you write it index inside 2, you can see the output at any point of time directly. 2 is not printing because simply we have skipped by using continue. Continue, it acts like a go to statement. It will continue with the next iteration. It will not check into after that any iteration. So this is example with a continue statement. So after your execution debugging is done, you have to click on like this. You have done a debugging and you have deleted breakpoint. Otherwise, there are maximum 30 breakpoints are available. So per user, you cannot recognize later which program you have done a debugging. Right? This is a keyword execution for continue statement. Next, let me explain with the check statement. I'm writing check is accept logical expression if check sy hyphen index equals to 2. For example, let me print one more time write statement sy hyphen index. Right, what happened here, the check index, first it will print 1, 2, 3 like that, 2, it will check the check equals to 2, again we are writing in output twice, it will print write statement index 2. Put a breakpoint and run this code. Check, see the output, it is printed 2, 2 twice. Why it is not stopped? Because the program is inactive. First activate this program. Click on continue. Run this. Now you can observe this. Double click on system index. The index is starting with a 0. The once it is started, it start with a 1. If system index equals to 10, no. System index equals to 2, no, because first time it is iterated 1. Then I click on continue. The second time system index equals to 2, so that now you can observe here system index equals to 2. Again we are taking control, so it is writing again write 2 times. Here it is printing 2, again here it is printing 2. You can check the output, it is printed twice. Check is a statement as a keyword. It also acts similarly like a continuous statement. But when the control is reached to the check statement, if it is true, it does nothing. If it is false, it jumps to the next iteration. That's what a check statement. With the help of now 5 control loop terminate statements we have done. Activate this. Right, there is a piece of code we have given here, 2 10 times check system index between 4 and 7. You can write statement system index directly, or do 10 times like system index equals to 4. You can write like based on this, exit if and end if, and go through that. So next concept will work out string operations. String operations always it will work for character based, data variable type C. C indicates character type. There are a couple of string operations. One is a translate, a replace, concatenate, and string length, offset, and split. For example, if you want to go through like a translate is a keyword. This keyword is used to convert the character type variables from one case to another case. So translate is a keyword. You can enter here any parameter name, variable name. To lowercase is up to this level is one syntax. Then everything what you have provided in a lowercase, it will be translate to uppercase, or if you provide uppercase to lowercase, then you can print it. Next, concatenate. To add two or more smaller strings into a larger string, then we are going to deal with the concatenate is a keyword. Right, accept from the user two or more smaller strings, right, like C1, C2 up to Cn into C, third destination string. This is up to this level is one syntax, and separated by S. Separated by, for example, you are adding two or more smaller string. You cannot read properly if it is in a big string. So definitely it is required some spaces or a separator, and it is called as a delimiter, separated by any delimiters. This statement concatenates the character field C1, C2 up to Cn n number of characters and assigns to the result C. The system ignores spaces at end of the individual source strings how we have placed. Next, there is a split is a keyword. One large string can be divided into two or more smaller strings. Then we have to use a split is a keyword statement block. The syntax you have to write it split C. Add is a keyword. Any delimiter in a special character level you are going to split into two or more smaller strings. The system search the field string C like a separator exactly the way delimiters are available. Then the part of the before the after separator are placed in a target strings and all. Offsetting is a mechanism. It's not like a keyword. Offsetting is not a keyword. It is a mechanism used to move the control to the particular position, and from that you want to take the printout. A destination string equals to source string plus. In this case, plus is not an arithmetic operator. There is a part of syntax. It's not required to provide any spaces. System representation characters. From after that, number of character positions required to print it. Next concept is like next string operation is string length. To find out the string length, because we are going to deal with the character type, but to find out the length, strlen is a keyword, as a key to find out the string length. And make sure that string length, the destination should be provided in an integer type, right, to store the values, number of position, the number of length. strlen provide the variable name. One space before and after one space is required because you are converting the character types into the length. Next, replace is a keyword. Replacing a character with some other character type. For this purpose, we have to use replace is a keyword. Then a syntax like a replace character with another character into third destination string. Based on that, you can replace any character. When you do some replace, there are some string comparison operators. Like these are the string comparison operators. CO contains only, for example, C1 is a string, contains only the character in C2. You are checking that. If it is Cn contains not only, C1 contains not only the character of C2. CA contains any, C1 contains at least one character of C2. And NA not any, C1 does not contain any character of C2. Like a CS contains strings, NS like a no string, CP, contains pattern, no pattern. So we'll work out one example with the CE. C1 contains at least one character. Based on that, you're going to replace with another character. So let me comment this code. So we'll write a piece of code for first right. So first accept the parameters, for example a of 20. If not specified any type C, its system will take a 20 characters default length, or it acts like a type C, but it is not required to specify. So type, then it indicates 20 characters space. Type C, 20 characters, character types. Right, next there is a translate, is a keyword, translate A to uppercase. Then here there is a write statement A. Now click the syntax check and activate a program. Click on enter. Then execute now. Here you can enter translate, like for example in a small letters you have to enter for example ABC Inc. ESC. Fine, I have entered in this lowercase. Click on execute. It's converted into uppercase. One step back, check the code here. So now we are converted translate to uppercase. Or else if you want to convert translate to lowercase, right, so in a parameters you have to enter in uppercase so that it will convert into lowercase. Right, for example ABC Inc. Now I'm typing into uppercase. Click on execute this, it will get into lowercase. One step back, again press F3 here. So this is what example for translate. Next, concatenate is a keyword. Next example, concatenate. So parameters, in a concatenate I'm going to accept the two parameters, for example a of 20, and write it like this. So b of 20 characters. Now, so destination like a data keyword to store the values of C of, for example 40 characters length. Right, now concatenate A space B space into C. Right, we are split layer concatenating AB into C. Write C. Check now, activate the code. Click on enter. Execute now. For example ABC here I'm providing Inc. Then in the next level I'm writing USC. Now click on execute this. Check, you're able to concatenate two strings ABC Inc. USC. But if you accept like a two or more smaller strings, it cannot read properly. In such a cases you have to provide any spaces or delimiters. Such a case you have to go through with separated by. Here you can type it separated by. There is a, in SAP ABAP, a space is a keyword. I can check. Activate this. Click on enter. Execute this. Now we can enter that values in a first A and B. Two parameters we are accepting. Now we have done a sum separated, exactly it is placed by one separator. Or you can go with any special character that is called separated by delimiters. You can go with like for example you want to print like a star in between two. Run this, execute now. ABC, then USA, click on execute. You are able to see that there is a special character or delimiters. This is a way you can provide separated by concatenate and all. Next concept is split. So accept one large string, for example parameter. So we're going to work with 40 characters, then only one parameter. Now declare a data keyword, let us say B of 10. So let me take the chain operator here, B of 20, then C of 20. Right, in this case, like split A is a key parameter name at. So which delimiter? For example, if A contains any comma, then split A at that into, then we are taking into B and C. Then after that you have to write keyword. So B, comma C. Now check the syntax, then activate this, click on enter, execute now. Can write it ABC, for example ABC Inc. After that one comma is there, click on execute this. Now it is converted into 2 or more smaller strings. You can repeat the same for 3 strings or 4 strings. According to that it will divide. Now command this. The next concept is string length. So accepting the parameters. String length, make sure that you have to declare one integer type to store the data length. For example, len type I. Right, integers you cannot specify the off characters number because by default is 4 bytes it occupies. Next str, so string destination string equals to like len equals to strlen string length, and then off, for example you have to give a space. Next you have to write it len. Click on syntactically check, activate this, click on enter. Now execute this. For example, you are providing ABC Inc. To find out the length of this, execute this. You will get a length is 10, including that spaces, whatever commas you have provided. Check ABC is a 3, 3 plus 3 Inc. is a 3, 6. This comma is a 7 plus 3, overall 10. This is a way to find out the length of string. This is a string length. Next one is how to find out offsetting. Offsetting is not a keyword. Right, the parameters you have 20. So here data, let us say B type C. So source string equals to destination string equals to B. Then the source string is A. Plus is not arithmetic operator here. System representation character. For example, 2 of 2. Then write B. You are printing B. Check now. This is a B is a destination string. Source is A. Plus is syntactical syntax. Then up 2 from second after second character onwards you are printing next two characters. Activate this. Click on enter. Execute this. For example here ABC Inc. After 2 then you are printing next two characters CI. Then execute this. You are able to print C. Because we have done in a B only one character, you can enter some length, for example B of 10, type C. Right, now click on execute here. Now execute this. Check you're able to print 2. For example, click on back. So you have done with A of 2. So for example 4 or 5 can print. So rest of the things will print. If you go to like a 0, only plus 2, from after 2 onwards everything will print. Now execute this. So leave it first 2 characters, it will print on that everything. Click on back. Then if you want to print 0, means it acts like a write statement. From starting onwards it will print. Then activate this. Click on enter. Now run this. Execute this. Then click on execute. Check everything is printed. So this is what to find out the offsetting mechanism. Next there is a replace. Right, do is a keyword. Here we are checking that if, let us say take the parameters first. Parameters A of 20. So do if CA indicates contains, just now we have discussed string comparison operators. If A contains any, for example if A contains any commas, right, there is a replace. So A is a source, with is a keyword. Replace with, for example you want to go with a star, again you can take it into A, and then else you can take that there is a continue is a keyword. Then if should be and if, right, and do. Then after that I am writing there is a write statement A. Check here do statement, do with and do. If A contains at least one comma, so now we are replacing, so comma with or you can write it like right. Now we can observe that activate the syntax. Check that. Now run this. For example if A contains any comma, now we are going to replace with star. can observe here the code. Right, so this way we have to write it. Do if A contains any comma, replace comma with A into A, else exit. Because we wrote a continuous statement, it will keep on continue. You can write it exit statement so that it can come out from the loop. Right, it is taking that. Instead of that exit, you can stop the transaction code like this. If anything, then write it here. So SE38. If you write continuous statement, it keep on like execute. Instead of that, you can go through with the exit command. Right, replace, you can directly replace it with the comma. So with into, else, instead of writing continue, you can come out from this exit, and if, and to write that. Now activate this program, click on enter. So click on run this. Right, now execute this, click on execute. Check the comma is replaced with a star asterisk symbol. So what we have done.